All right, here we go. Welcome back to another great episode of the HawkCast. Tonight we have a very distinguished professional hunter. His name is Mr. Gary LeVox, and he dabbles in a little band called Rascal Flatts as the lead singer, but I know his true passion is shooting deer and elk and anything else that moves down on his farm in Nashville. But like to officially welcome him and thank him for taking some time out of his busy schedule. He's down at a nice, cushy corporate gig somewhere in the southern United States right now on his bus. But Gary, welcome and thank you for coming on.
Hey Jay, thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I
love your hair too. I want.
Yeah, you see this?
It's hot.
That's the thing. I've been watching you guys. Man, I think my first show was probably 6 years ago in Green Bay. When I saw you guys, and all of a sudden I knew who you guys were, and I see you in person for the first time, and I'm like, damn, man, look at this dude's hair. It's got to take hours. I know I actually have seen where you've made jokes about it only taking 7 or 8 minutes, but you guys are like the originators of like styling your stuff, and now I see how you dress. You were way ahead of your time.
Yeah, I mean, we really were, and I think you can see the kind of impact that we've had, like Justin Bieber. He's kind of followed suit. There's been a few others. Keith Urban has finally came on board with a new do, and real excited about that. And, I think it's kind of like, what you do as middle linebackers do. You've kind of set the bar, and I think we've done that with hairstyles. People grow up, young kids want to grow up and be like AJ Hawk and play linebacker and be able to attack and would play with that tenacity that you play with. And I think that people look at us and they really say, you know what, I want to look just like
Gary
LeVox. Yeah, I mean, I do.
I mean, I hear it. I'm in Ohio at the moment right now. Not too far from your stomping grounds, Gary. I don't know if everybody knows it. They just assume every country singer was born somewhere down south, but you were born right in the heart of Ohio, Columbus area, Olentangy High School. So, how do you feel about Ohio?
Dude, I love it, man. I'm so proud to be from that state, and I just that's where my roots, my foundation is, and I was born a Buckeye.
That's right. I see your hat for anyone. Well, Gary, just to give you a heads up, he's wearing the Ohio State Buckeyes hat, which it seems like you always are. Ooh, look at that hair, man.
Yeah, I got me some fresh color.
No joke.
Yeah, it's kind of the real deal.
Frosting your tips. See, that's my next step.
Is it?
I got to frost my tips. I tell people all the time, I feel like I got to do stuff just to keep my wife from leaving me every day. I'm trying to wear skinny jeans now. Got to get weird, like hipster haircuts, and I'm just trying to keep it fresh for her.
And I understand. And, after a couple kids and all that, it's anything you can do to spice it up,
That's right. I don't want her trading me out for the younger version of me.
That's right. Exactly right.
They always say husbands are the ones doing that. I'm worried that she's going to be that guy, so I'm being proactive in my approach.
I know. I like that. And that's what we have to do, because I think divorce comes so easy these days. And I think, as you may dress up like me to keep your marriage
fresh.
Spicy. Yeah, fresh. I've thrown on one of your jerseys before. I have. I'm just going to be honest.
Oh man, I hope you had pants on during that.
Well, I had just a few pads on.
The full uniform. Old Gary LeVox reliving your high school days, man. Putting those pads on. Did you play football?
No, I didn't. I played soccer, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah, so how did you did you just grow up being a big Ohio State and sports fan?
Yeah, I mean that's just when you're born in Ohio, I don't know if you're born in a Buckeye onesie, and it's just it's part of who we are. It's part of what the state of Ohio is, man. It's Buckeye football all day.
That's right, man. That's the thing. People that aren't from Ohio get very, very sick of us Ohioans talking about. If that's Ohioan, that's right.
I think so. Yeah.
If they when they hear us talking about Ohio State and the pride, you just got to be there, man. You just got to be there. Go to the stadium and see how it is. You know how sick people get so sick of that. I'm sure they're sick of me talking about it right now, but those Ohio people are holding strong. I can bet you that.
Absolutely, and especially because I live in Tennessee, so I'm in SEC country, and that's it's yeah, I get to hear all the bad stuff. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I can't
we
imagine.
scrap.
Yeah, you do. Well, I know. I've seen you pre and post show, and you're an intense dude, man. You don't want to
You
mess
know,
with you when you're about to go out on your battlefield.
heck no. When my hair gets to falling, it's on like Donkey Kong, bro.
Down there at that humidity in the south too, you can't put enough product in to keep it up.
No, you can't. So you don't have that, and it's a different humidity in Ohio.
You're
So
right. The good thing is you guys are so big time now. You're probably like those. I saw like Brad Pitt at the Oscars and different people, and I'm like, and these guys look just. My wife's like, see, look at that. Why don't you just do your hair like him? And I was like, Laura, this is Brad Pitt. First of all, he's like the most handsome dude ever to live. And he probably has a team of 9 people getting him ready every single day. So. I see some people scrounging around through the background through your bus door. I bet those are all your little your little minions and assistants, aren't they? Just to take care of you. Is that right?
yeah, they are. It's just you've got to have people to really get. There, I turned them off. To look this good, you have to have a team of people. Because Brad Pitt, he's 137 years old this year. And you'd never know.
You would never know that. He's probably 137 pounds at the same time.
Oh, I know it. He hasn't eaten in like 54 years.
It's like those dudes. Did you see Dallas Buyers Club with
Yes.
Matt McConaughey? Do you like it?
Yeah, it was different, man. But it made me want to like order Donato's because he was so skinny.
You're right. Another Ohio reference on the Donato's pizza. Man, I love it. But you're right. He looked terrible, and he won an Oscar, and he got an Academy Award for it.
Yeah. You know what? I'd have given him that just for losing that kind of weight.
Oh yeah, because he probably walks around like when you see him in pictures. Obviously you've met every person in the world. I'm sure you're boys with him, but when you see him in pictures, he walks around like he's the old buff jacked guy. He's probably like 170 pounds, so he probably got down to like 95 for that movie.
Yeah, and he's a big country fan. I know Matthew well, and he's one of us. He's a really cool, down to earth cat, but it's that's one reason why I couldn't be an actor. I couldn't lose that much weight for nothing in this world.
Well, you don't need to. Well, you are an actor. What are you talking about? Your songs? How many movies? Do you know how many movies your guys' songs have been in?
I don't know. Probably 5 or 6, I guess. But we've got a new song there's a new movie coming out. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called Heaven is for Real, and it comes out. It's a book. I read the book like a couple years ago or whatever, but it's a little kid that died, and he tells a story. It's his testimony, how he went to heaven, and he tells all about the things that he saw in heaven and the people that he met, and just unbelievable story. Well, they now have made it into a movie that comes out April 16th. It comes out right after Easter, and we've got a song in that movie called Compass. So it's we're real excited. Everybody should go see that movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit about it. That song Compass is on your new album, right?
Yeah. The new album comes out May 13th.
So there's a date now. When I was checking, I didn't find I didn't know if you guys had a concrete date.
Yeah, concrete now. So
May 13th. What's the title?
Rewind.
Yes, I know. And your single Rewind is out as we speak. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's rocking. Yeah, we went to number 9 this week, I think. So it's really doing some good stuff for us.
It's good. It's a good song. It's a good album. I was lucky enough to preview it this past 6 months ago, probably this past summer. I got to preview it out at after I saw one of your shows out in Lake Tahoe. Man, that thing, you guys it's different, right? It seems like it's I don't know. You know how you listen to these musicians. I'm speaking from the stupid person that doesn't understand the music business or anything about what you guys do, and you hear these musicians say, "Oh, this album's really different. This is something we've never done before." No one wants to hear that garbage, but your stuff actually is different. Didn't you guys work with different producers and more of like a rock feel?
Yeah, we did. We did 6 sides with a producer named Howard Benson, who did like Hoobastank and did a bunch of rock stuff, and which was great. And then we used Dan Huff, who we did produced our last couple albums with. He did a couple songs, and then we produced the other half of it, the 3 of us. So it sounds different, feels different, and we're real excited about it. It's kind of like. And I think what fans kind of fell in love with Rascal Flatts music in the beginning, it's some of that, but I think it definitely shows growth and maturity, and we really stretched ourselves and pushed ourselves on this album, and I think it shows, So it's going to be. I can't wait till May 13th comes. We can get it out there. So we're doing The Voice on the day that the album comes out, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh. So obviously we want that to be a monster. So yeah, hopefully anyone that's listening or watching this, there's an audio version of this as well, Gary. So don't worry, everyone's not going to see it. Who knows? There's probably like four people that actually watch this, and it'll be both my parents and both my brothers. So don't worry about that. Hopefully a couple people. Hopefully people will see the audio version a lot as well. But yeah, so hopefully
this is the Hawk Nest, right?
HawkCast, Gary.
Oh, Cast. I'm sorry.
Cast. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Someone was trying to say, what's your name going to be? And I've had multiple people be like, call it the Hawk's Nest.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I understand. It almost feels like it's too easy. I already feel cheesy enough saying the HawkCast. Like broadcast, podcast, that's kind of what this is supposed to be, like a podcast type feel. And then when you say the Hawk's Nest, I'm like, gosh, I just feel like a cornball. So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Well, where are you doing the podcast from?
Where do you think I'm doing it from? You can't tell, can you?
No, I can't.
I'm going to be on Mars.
Yeah, it's true. So why don't we call it?
This is the Hawk's Nest Studios.
It is Hawk Nest Studios, live from the Hawk Nest Studios.
It's a very fluid, organic thing, so you never know. Who the hell knows what's going to happen with the name or this could be the last one I ever record. I don't know.
I think it's entirely too big. I mean, I've seen things on Twitter. I've seen this. I've seen it trend. This whole thing is trending. I think it's good, bro. What about like the Hawk's egg?
The Hawk's egg? Yeah. What? Because I'm laying an egg every time I interview somebody. Just
well,
garbage.
You look like it sometimes.
You're right. I'm. Look at my. If you can kind of see my complexion and my skin tone, I'm about as white as an egg. Trust me. My old German roots do not lend well to bright lights.
Well, you know what the problem is too is that it is. Has this not been the worst winter in Ohio history?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, just as I was. It is almost April, and just as I was driving an hour ago, it was a whiteout blizzard type feel. It only lasted for about 10 minutes, but you couldn't see the road.
It's spring. It's supposed to be spring.
I heard it was cold in Nashville for a lot this year.
Yeah, it was awful. Terrible.
Yeah, man. See, that's the thing. What does that really? How's that affect your hunting game? I know that's a big part of your life.
It's really good late season. You really kind of want it cold late season because if you've got all the food, which was nice at my place, they've got to eat. So once the colder the better, really for hunting season for deer.
I know you have a farm down there still, right?
Yeah.
Is your farm? It's not one of those, or is it one of those like high fence game farms, or is it? Are they legit?
No.
Are you herding them in? Do they walk your car when your truck pulls in? Do they walk you into your garage?
Yeah, they'd come in the garage and I feed them in there.
Like little rabbits, right?
Right, and then I just step outside when I go to shoot because it's more gamey if I'm outdoors.
You're right. You're kidding.
It's a low fence. It's a low fence. No fence.
So it's like a 6-footer, so they could jump over it, right? The big ones at
least.
least.
Yeah, if anything over 3 years old can jump over it.
It's like my dog run I have for my dogs. Same thing, right?
Exactly right.
You just keep breeding them, keep putting them in, so you can just. Oh, never mind. Whatever. I know you're a legit hunter. I'm sorry if I'm offending your hunting skills. I know you're the real deal. I know you have TV shows and you go on. I don't know if you do that. Do you ever do like the big game hunting stuff where you go over to Africa or things and take out the big animals?
You know what? I've done like caribou and that kind of stuff, but Africa's a little too far. I'd rather stay at my own dirt, and do that. I'd love to go to Africa maybe at some point, but travel time and all that. I mean, it's really tough when you're on tour and trying to book to get over there, hunt, fly back. You're 4 days in travel. So
no, hell no, not with 2 kids and you're on tour basically the whole year for what you do. So that's got to be impossible, man. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's rough.
The thing that I think you guys have done, so you've been, how would you say, how many years have you guys been officially touring, I guess?
You know what? Our first album came out in 2000, so 14 years.
And so whenever you put an album out, is that customary that you got to go put a tour on to promote the album?
Yep.
It's pretty much what everybody does.
Yeah. You go out there and you go out there when you got new product and you start working the singles, working the record, and which is the fun part for me because it's such a business, So the really the icing on the cake is performing live. So that's what we live for,
Yeah, and now with this stupid ass music world, isn't that where the money is too?
Yeah. For artists, it is. Yeah, the whole, and it's the whole music business is, man, it's changed so much. So now instead of like doing, like big record deals where they do like a 7-album deal, the big thing for artists is, you're trying to do, download deals and that kind of thing. So, the artist's biggest amount in touring, how we usually make money, newer artists, especially. Is by touring and merchandise and publishing and that kind of thing. Yeah,
so back in the day, did you guys ever, when you first got in, did you sign those like multi-album deals where they say we'll pay you, $1 million to put out 3 albums?
Yeah. I mean, that's the way the music business was, back then. It's like, all right, here's a 3-album deal for this amount of money, and then it all kind of changed to where record labels were doing a 360 deal. So record labels are actually getting a piece of your publishing, your merchandise, and all that stuff. So for a new artist, it was really tough for them to come out and really make a lot of money,
So you could see a new artist that obviously I'm sure a young band or a young artist would jump on the fact that, hey, we'll sign you to a 360 deal. I know I've heard about 360 deals. So you could say, hey, we'll sign you this nice 360 deal. Look at all this. We'll give you $50K up front. And then this guy just blows up and makes tons of money and he doesn't see any of it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then, if you turn out to some amazing thing, like even like Miley Cyrus, like the Hannah Montana thing, Disney kind of did that with her, and then it got so big, the whole Hannah Montana thing that, finally she was like, all right, look, you can have it. Just give me one big lump sum,
Really? Yeah, man. And so what, did iTunes or what was it, Napster or iTunes that ruined all that, or changed it, I should say?
Well, Napster started stealing all the music, but that really kind of changed it, and then it's just kind of the way that it evolved. People, they started not wanting to buy the, because I know when we were kids, man, it was cool to have the big vinyl, the album covers, and I wanted to see the pictures and all that stuff. But now, when you can sit at home, you don't have to go to the store and you can go, I love that song. Click.
Yep.
And you got it.
On your phone now.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's what I do, and I'm not even really a part of that generation. I'm too old to be a part of that. I mean, I am part of it now, but ever since I guess you get the iPhone is really when I was able to do that, and you got iTunes, and you say, wait, man, what is that song? And I do that now with my kids. I have a 3- and a 1-year-old. My daughter, she'll hear a song she likes, and she knows that I can go on my phone and get it, which is very sad.
I know. But, what's so great about your daughter is that, when she says, Daddy, can I get Life's a Highway? Or will you get Rewind for me? That you always say yes when it's one of our songs.
Yeah, so, she says, Dad, where's Dad? Uncle Gary. She points at the screen. Uncle Gary, Dad.
That's right.
We do that.
She's so beautiful. Is she doing good?
She's awesome, man. She's 3 years old now, running around like crazy. She's a little musician that she can do whatever she wants. She's a little free spirit, that's for sure. But I introduce her all the time. She'll ask me, Dad, introduce me. And I like come up with something like standing 2'7", 27 pounds from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I introduce her and she stands in the steps and she'll sing. So
it's awesome, man.
She's doing great. We're hoping she's very musical, and my wife can play the piano, so she plays the piano for her and she jumps around and dances. I think she's got some rhythm.
That's good. Well, Uncle Gary's ready to put her on tour, so whenever you can sign that disclaimer.
360 deal, right? 360?
Absolutely. I'm getting merch, buddy.
Oh, jeez. Watch
merch
out.
deals. Oh, yeah.
Spell out of my chair. Yeah, we can do that, of course. And you'll say, hey, it's me. It's like we're basically family. Don't worry about it. I won't screw you. Yeah, right. We'll never see you again. We'll just be sending you checks.
That's right. I know you got money. 360 deals, buddy.
360. So who you guys with? Who's your record label right now?
We're with Big Machine Records. So some of the people that are on Big Machine is like Taylor Swift, some new artists like Taylor Swift,
never heard of her.
Reba,
Is Reba
She's
singing
not on.
still?
She is, yeah. Tim McGraw, Justin Moore.
Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off. What the hell is Tim McGraw? What is his workout and nutrition plan? Have you seen him? Obviously, you have.
Yeah, he's ripped,
He's
man.
jacked. I've seen pictures of him when they're saying he claims that he basically just stopped drinking. I was like, I don't think just stopping drinking will get you a 12-pack and veins everywhere at 50.
Yeah. No, he's. I don't know what his workout is, but I know that it's pretty intense, you know.
And he is, gosh, yeah. If he gives some old dudes hope. He gives my dad hope. I'm going to send my dad pictures of him. I'm going to text my dad a picture of Tim McGraw. Probably about
Tim
10 years.
McConaughey.
Tim McConaughey. What a perfect. Can you imagine? Oh, gosh. Southern girls go crazy.
I know it, man.
So, the one thing I have talked about you in the past, or with you in the past, is what I respect about what you guys do and how you handle it. So, you were, let's just say, I'm not saying it to like slight you or take anything away from you, but you were born with the voice you have, don't you think? And you've worked it over the years.
Yeah. I never took voice lessons or any of that kind of stuff, and I was always more of an athlete, so I was always into sports, and just kind of, I thought that I could sing a little bit like some of the guys on the radio, that kind of thing, but I never really focused on it because I was always, when I was little, I was playing football, baseball, basketball, soccer, I was just into sports, so. But as I got older, in high school, it was cool for me to like start doing musicals and stuff. When I was going to Olatangie, I'd do the musicals and do like Sound of Music and all that kind of stuff. So it was funny to be, to have all your boys as like being an athlete. Everybody's coming just to make fun of you. All the cats sitting on the front row just pointing. Ah. So, but I really started getting into it, and I really liked it, and I felt like. I felt like I had a certain gift. I felt like God had given me a certain gift to use. And one day I was living at my mom's house, and I was on right there on Worthington Galena Road, and I just felt like, you know what? I knew that God was calling me to Nashville. I was like, you know what? I felt like you give me this gift, and I don't want to do you an injustice. So I put in my 2-week notice, and I moved to Nashville in February '98. We got signed January '99, and June 6, 2000. First record came out, and that was 25 million albums ago.
Jeez. And you've been working, though. Weren't you working 10 years in the Department for Mentally Handicapped or Mental Disabilities? Something?
Yeah, the Franklin County Board of MR&DD. Yep, worked there 10 years down at the Vern Rife Center at the State Office Tower.
Yeah, so you kind of took a chance there, that's for sure, because I know I've read and you've told me a little bit about how you said you were those guys' fathers. You were their father to a lot of them. So I'm sure, obviously, was that hard to leave town and go to Nashville?
Yeah, that was actually harder than because I had the support of my my mom and my brother and everybody, my family they were all behind me. But that was one of the hardest things for me to leave was all of my clients and employees and everything that I'd known for 10 years as being such a huge part of their life and them being such a huge part of my life. It was really tough to tell them, and knowing that some of them I'd never see again. So, yeah, it was rough. It's tough.
So you were 10 years there. Were you doing anything local? Were you going and singing karaoke or trying to, sing at local bars?
Yeah, absolutely, man. 'Cause it was like $100, you could win on Friday. So I'd go to a karaoke place, and then hopefully I'd win there, and then I'd go to another place on Saturday. So I could, sometimes I'd make $500 a weekend, So I'd hit all those karaoke things, and then go spin it down at the Mean Mr. Mustard's or something.
What was your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, On Bended Knee.
Really?
Boys to Men.
Oh yes. Yeah. Did you choreograph any moves for it?
A few, and it was funny because I'd bring my own headset mic in too.
Really? No.
Yeah. I'd work it, Yeah.
So you were basically a local Columbus area legend in the karaoke scene, weren't you?
You know what? I really was, to the point where they I'd start walking in and they'd go, and then they wouldn't let me win anymore. So then I was like, well, I'm not going then because I thought this was a competition.
That's right. It's like I've heard comics say it's like when Jerry Seinfeld walks into like a local comedy club to work on some material, and all the comics and everyone's like, oh, he's here. That's what it was like when old Gary strolled into the bar over on Fifth Avenue, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, down at the Newport.
With the Newport, and they said, and why is every time he gets out of his car and he already has that mic on, that stupid ear mic hanging off his face?
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
And you just said, just sit back and watch, fellas.
Yeah, just sit back and watch. They're like, can I get you anything to drink? No, I'm here on business. Strictly business.
That's see, that goes right into something I wanted to ask you. So I see like this weird country, and I wouldn't even say I'm a huge country fan. When I first went to one of your shows, however, I don't know, 6 years ago, let's call it. I was probably like a lot of people that go to your show for the first time. I knew you guys, I known of you, knew your songs, and knew hits, even though you guys have a ton of hits. But every song you played, I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, I know this. And then the whole show, you know every song, and every song seems like it's a hit on the radio. But do you think, how different are young guys now than they were back, say, in 2000? Like there's so many like young one-off groups now where there's just a guy, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but it's just one person. It's not as much group, and it's not as much country either. It's not the old school, boozing, getting bailed out of jail and going bankrupt type of country. That seems like it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it does. Well, because those kids haven't lived it, I think that's the thing. Like back in the day, I mean, those, when you had the Merle Haggards and the George Straits and the Allens and stuff, I mean, they, Waylon and Willie, and they lived that life. You know what I mean? That was their lifestyle. But these, some of the people coming up, that's what's so important that we always tell these young artists is that, man, song quality. You don't have a career. It all starts and ends with a great song. You got to have it. So, and a lot of times, what new artists that come out, that being young or whatever, they're writing about just things that they know, like Florida Georgia Line, just with Cruise and that kind of stuff. But some of them might have went to jail, but it wasn't for the same things that Merle Haggard went to jail for.
Damn right, man. Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm already like the weird old like bitter guy. These kids don't know. Yeah, it's stupid. I feel stupid saying it. Like I know anything. Who cares if you got a hit song? I wouldn't care if they want to call it pop. Put it out there, make some cash. I can't blame you for it. But do you think the one thing I love when I see guys that just do it and play, and I've seen you do that. I've been to shows where you will be sitting there telling me stories about your daughters and your wife and your family and talking about how the big deer you just shot, and then literally they're like, oh, hey, and one of your many handlers it takes to control your life will just scoot you along, and you'll just sprint right to the mic and grab it and hit that first note with the song. And you didn't have to go sit in a quiet room by yourself and hum and drink honey and green tea for 2 hours. So do you take pride in that? Because I have a ton of respect for that.
Yeah, you know what I do? I think, man, it's like standing over a putt, It's like it just, it's like it just like take you for instance. When it's game time, it's time to play. It's time to go. So I'm kind of the worst, about, I don't sit there and do the vocal warm ups and all that kind of stuff. I feel like, that's what I was blessed to do, and it's game time. I look at it as an athlete ready to go, and and once the coin's tossed and the whistle's blown, it's time for kickoff. It's time to go, to give these fans the show that they came to see.
I agree. And it's almost like people like to ask all the time, oh, are you going to try to, how much time do you take off after the season? They'll ask me, how much time do you take off or you don't work out? I was like, what do you mean? No, I don't really take any time off ever. I change it up to try to, become more healthy or whatever you need to do. But the whole stupid cliche saying like that, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I feel like that's almost like you were born with this golden voice that I keep reading about. Everyone says Gary LeVox, this golden voice, handsome devil of a man that says, and he can sing all night. He can sing all night long. So for you, don't you think you're always ready? You don't need to go sit there and mess around, do you?
No, I mean, that statement is so true. What you said, if you're ready, there's no reason to get ready. It's just you kind of do it, and you kind of, once you have done it for so long too, you kind of hone your craft, and once it's time to go, it's time to go.
Is there anything over all those years of touring, is there one or a couple things you could say like were your biggest disasters on stage, like for people to see?
Bro, I'm telling you, man, we played one time and on an outside gig. The second song, my entire crotch ripped out of my pants. That was, the second song of an hour and a half show.
Did you know it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I felt it. So I jumped up on the drum riser and I looked, my drummer's back there drumming, and I looked at him and I was like, dude, are my pants ripped? And he was like, he just kept on playing. He was like, yep. And I was like, oh no. So I couldn't wait to get to like halfway of the show, and then Jay and Joe Don kind of go up and do their own thing. So I went and changed real quick. But man, we've had that, and people. One time we were playing in Colorado, and there was all these dudes over there drunk, just crazy, another outside thing, and they just start throwing rocks on stage, hitting people. I mean, our fiddle player like hit off his fiddle, hit him in the face. It was crazy. We've had some nutty times.
I think legally you're allowed to pick those rocks up and fire them right back at them, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, with a paycheck in one hand and a rock in the other, yeah, you can go as many as you want.
Yeah, don't worry, they'll be coming after you. When you hit, it's the people around them. You're going for the one drunk guy, and you end up hitting the old lady, hitting your grandma.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew it. $7 million. Oh.
You won't be. Yeah, you guys will be back in the little vans touring from that. You won't be in that sweet camo bus you have behind me.
I know it. I know it.
You're a smart man. You know what you're doing. I like it, man.
I'll be in a Fusion.
Yeah, there you go.
My headset mic.
Do you guys? So you've been doing it so long. You guys, your schedule seems pretty. I shouldn't say nice. I mean, obviously you guys work your ass off, but. Are you guys still doing the when you tour, like doing like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or the weekend type thing? And can you kind of walk us through what your normal like tour schedule would be? I should say, like throughout a week.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We always, I was always, I was married when we first started, and I was Brittany in 2000. So, I had to make it, and Jay and Joe Don were cool with kind of understand the schedule that we keep now because they're parents. But I was just like, you know what, man, too much of anything is a bad thing. So we had to, some artists do like 6 months on hard and 6 months off, but we just I wanted to build a lifestyle, so we could kind of go off. So I'm usually home 4 days a week and out 3, and then but we always take spring break off, all holidays, birthdays, all that stuff. So we've been blessed enough to where we can adjust our schedule so it fits, so we have a nice balance.
Were you always able to do that even from the start?
No, I wish.
I figured you guys have paid your dues. You can do whatever you want now, but it just seems like, you guys can kind of make your own schedule now.
Yeah, bro, we killed it. The first couple of years, we were doing over 200 shows a year, and that when before the first record came out in June, we went on like a 6-week radio tour, and we just weren't home at all. So, thank goodness all that paid off, so we could make it somewhat livable, And sometimes that works for some people, but man, when you're married and you have a family, you really have to, because music wouldn't be any fun at all, if I was missing everything at home. So it's family first always,
I know it sounds like it's you guys have kind of made it how you want it to be, and like you said, the other two guys have kids now, so they completely understand. Their kids are a little younger than yours, so
yeah.
That had to be nice for you when Jay and Joe Don started popping kids out, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I was like, I told you, sorry jokers. I told you.
Now your kids are older, so they're probably pretty self-sufficient, and then their kids are younger. I know what it's like to have young kids. They're not self-sufficient.
No, Jay and Joe Don look old. Yeah, and they're having a rough time, man, because now they're like Jay's kids are teething, and so they're sick and they're all that stuff. So now it's funny to look at the schedule and be like, well, Jay, what do you got that time blocked off for? And he's like, what? I mean, I gotta take care of the girls, man. She's got to go do this. I'm like, yeah, told you.
That's right. It's funny, man, how it all comes full circle. And for anyone that doesn't know, we're talking about Jay DeMarcus and Joe Don Rooney, the other two leading members of the band that also had sing backup vocals and do everything. Just a great group of guys I think you guys have. But how do you how does that dynamic? I know. So Jay is what, your second cousin,
Yep, yep.
and Joe Don, you guys met in Nashville, right?
Yep, Jonah, we met in Nashville. Yeah, he came to play. Jay actually hired him to play acoustic guitar for Shelley Wright back in the day, and that's where we met Joe Don. And at the same time, Jay and we had a club that we were playing in every Monday and Tuesday. Our guitar player didn't show up one night. He called Joe Don. Joe Don came in, and man, the rest was history. We knew we had something special.
It's crazy how that stuff. It seems like a lot of the big time successful, whether it's movie people, actors as they call them,
Yeah.
musicians, like that. That's kind of how it works out. Like you said, well, the guy was sick and bailed out. Now we got Joe Don. Rest is history. It's almost like, what was it? Who took over? What, Pete Best was at the Beatles? Am I
Yeah.
right there? And Ringo took over for him.
Yeah, Ringo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing. Like, oh, what's this sorry bastard doing?
I know. There's a lot of bitter cats running around.
Gosh, there's got to be a dude just grinding. So whoever was with you before, just grinding away like the Memphis circuit now, just trying to play local bars. They're coming for you.
Yeah, they're all down in Branson.
Yeah,
Opening for the Mandrells.
There's got to be so many guys like that around. Just oh, that was supposed to be me.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
So,
No.
tell me a little bit about your time with the old Justin Bieber, man. Biebs.
Oh, the Biebs, yeah.
Well, yeah, this was pre-arrested Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Justin out there for all kind of actions that seemed to get him in trouble.
It was pre-puberty, I think. But it was cool, he he wrote a book, I guess, is how it all started, and he put in there some of his biggest influences, and he put Rascal Flatts in there, and we were like, oh, that's cool. Somebody sent it to us. We we're like, that's cool, man. And so when we got with Justin, we did a song called That Should Be Me, which was a big hit for him, and he wanted to do a duet with us on it. We're like, yeah, cool. So we got together, and you know what, man, I really, really liked Justin a lot. I mean, he sat there, he taught himself how to play everything, so he's really, really talented and gifted kid. I think, once somebody nobody turns out really good when you become a celebrity at such an early age, I mean, if you look at the Lindsay Lohans and the Drew Barrymores and all that stuff, I mean, Miley, it's a lot to take on, and I think, instead of having yes people around you, you got to have some no people around you, and when you're one of the biggest acts in the entire world, and you can do and anything that you want at such an early age, you've got to have an accountability person, and it seems to be a lack of what Justin has in his life, especially if his dad's involved with it too. So, but you know what? I really enjoyed the day we spent together, man, and the song did great, and and he was just awesome to my girls, to Brittany and Brooklyn, and so it was really cool. So it's, I think Justin can snap out of it if he gets if he's got to have some structure though, and because he could be on a path that he doesn't want to be on for very long.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you where I don't have people just want to sit there and just kill the guy and say, oh, this kid, he's pissing in mop buckets in restaurants or something, and I was like, okay, just think if we can somehow get out of our own head and say, I try to, I don't know why I'm like a Bieber defender, but I'm like, okay, this dude right now, he's probably 19, I don't know, right. 18, 19. This dude was like the most famous guy in the world at like 15. Yeah. All of a sudden gets $150 million probably more by now. So selling out arenas, stadiums, wherever he goes. And you give him all that at like 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, and there's cameras everywhere he goes. I'm like, can you imagine if that happened to one of us? How can you not at least sympathize a little bit for him? Yeah,
I know. And it's, it's just disheartening, but it's, I don't know where the parents are at, and I've met his mom and stuff, and really sweet people, so I know what his foundation is. I know he grew up in the church and grew up on a really strong Christian foundation. But man, once you start hanging out with these cats that he's hanging out with, and all that's who you surround who you surround yourself with. And some of them aren't the coolest cats on the planet.
No.
They're not. So, and I didn't even know you could still. I didn't know you could still get in trouble for egging.
Yeah, especially if the house you're egging from, you own, and it's like a $5 million house.
Yeah, right.
How does that?
Yeah.
That has to be the first egging from someone that owns a house like that.
Yeah, so that shows your age right there. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go over there. We're gonna egg them neighbors over there.
Yeah, you may be. Tell them you may be the most famous dude in the world, but guess what? At heart, he's still an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid that's trying to do things like that.
Yeah, that's it. Over there trying to do whippets. Do whippets.
Oh gosh, man. Yeah, you gotta that whole. Oh, see, that's the thing. Like, you're right though. Even there's a lot of examples of people that got famous young, had a rough patch, and came through it better. Like a Drew Barrymore type person. Who knows if your girl Lindsay Lohan's gonna come out from that?
Yeah.
I don't know why I called her your girl. That's a habit. I'm sure you got. Everybody. You probably sang songs. You probably recorded a song with Lindsay Lohan.
No, I didn't. We had it scheduled. She didn't show up.
Oh,
rehab. Something. I don't know.
Stood you up, huh?
Yeah, you know how it goes.
You should write a song for the next movie she's in to put her back on track.
Hey, I guess that, you know what? I think Oprah may be doing that now.
Oh, she has a reality show.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I think Oprah's putting her in check.
Yeah, okay. That takes me right. That's a nice segue you just gave me there, Gary. So,
anything I can do, bro.
If anyone wants to, you guys are everywhere. What the hell? You guys like singing for Oprah or when she got on a new network, or what did you do? You kicked off some crazy season. What do you do with Oprah?
Yeah, it was the last her last show when she was going to retire and give up her talk show. We've done a lot of stuff. We're good friends with Oprah, and she our song that she loved or whatever. I think it was My Wish or whatever was there, but it was everybody, dude, on the face of the planet that you've ever loved was there, and we were honored. So we sang the last song. So everybody from her staff, they called us and said, "Hey, you guys have got to sing My Wish for Oprah because blah blah blah." So we went there, and man, we were everybody, Stevie Wonder to Aretha Franklin to Tom Cruise to Madonna, Beyonce. I mean, everybody was there. So it was huge thing for us to do, and just to send her her farewell, and what a great run it was on TV. And then we thought she was going to retire, and then she bought her own network. So I guess that's what you can do.
She's back. You guys will play whenever she goes off of that one. You got it too. That own whatever the network is that you can't find on your TV guide.
Yeah, that's right. When you retire again, holler at your boy. Oprah.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. I'm sure she'll watch this for sure. So yeah, she'll call you.
Yeah, man.
One of her people will call your people.
That's right. Yeah.
So you said all those crazy famous legends were there. Do you guys get to hang out with them backstage or anything before or after?
Yeah, we did. And I got to tell you, man, Tom Cruise is one of the nicest people on the planet.
Tom Cruise?
He really almost like too nice. Like something's got to be wrong with you somewhere. And I don't get the whole Scientology thing, but that's the only thing I could find that I didn't grasp. But he was super cool. Everybody was really, really nice, man. And it's awesome when some of your like Stevie Wonder and stuff, when your heroes actually become out to be better people than they just are musician wise. So it's because when you meet one of your heroes and then you're like, gosh, what a jerk.
They usually don't match up to that hero worship status you gave them, don't they?
No, I know it, man. But everybody was really cool.
Yeah, you mentioned Tom Cruise. For some reason, Tom Cruise, he always like the first name that pops up when I talk about powerful dudes or something. I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, I think Tom Cruise is like controlling stuff. He's like running everything.
I know.
So he's so weirdly powerful for a small little man. Was he as small as people say?
Yeah, he's short. Yeah, he's a small dude. Yeah, he's not playing the line.
Yeah. But the thing I always wondered about Tom Cruise was you said he was a great dude. Was he like naive to like he's been living under a rock his whole life, or does he know about like current events and pop culture? Did he seem like he knew what was going on in the world?
You know what? When Tom Cruise walks in, it kind of everybody was just like what you were just saying. Everybody's kind of like he doesn't have to know anything because everybody's like it's Tom Cruise, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, he was married to Katie Holmes back then, and Katie was there too, and they were just the nicest, sweetest people, you know.
Oh, that comes.
Super
Yeah,
fun.
that's yeah. Well, she's from Ohio, Gary.
That's exactly right,
I
brother.
mean, some more Ohio bias to get people to turn this off that aren't from Ohio. Get pissed.
I was
at
on
us.
stage going, "Hey, Katie, OH!"
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, she would give the IO to you. Hopefully, she's from up north, but she probably likes the Bucks. Hopefully,
Yeah.
did you say Tom Hanks was there?
Tom Hanks, yeah,
That
man.
dude is he's the guy that I think is the one of the greatest of all time.
No question. And one of the finest individuals that you'll ever meet on the planet. He's so cool, man. And, it's just hard to look at him and not go, Wilson! You know?
And every time I see a building that has, so you've seen Big, right? The movie?
Yeah.
Anytime I see a building that has loft apartments with high ceilings and wood floor, I'm like my wife, my brother, I'm like, it's like Tom Hanks and Big. I put a basketball hoop and a Pepsi machine in my bunk beds.
Yeah.
And that's all it would be. I was like, that's it. It's all from Big. And I'm dating myself there as well because Big is not a new movie.
That's awesome.
Tom Hanks was 20 when he was in that movie. He looks so young.
I know it, man.
Jeez.
And still cranking him out. Captain Phillips was great.
Oh, he's killing it. He does seem like he's one of those guys that if I met a guy which I never would, but if I met a guy like Tom Hanks and he turned out to be like a douche and he was a jerk,
Yeah.
it would break my heart. It would be so sad for me because he seems like the coolest dude. I watched him on a show. It's called the Kevin Pollak Chat Show. I don't know if you know who Kevin Pollak is. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's in Casino. He's in some movies, and he has this he interviews these dudes for 2-3 hours at a time, and it's actually produced pretty well, and it's on the internet and whatever. I watch it on airplanes. And Tom Hanks came on there a little while back, and literally was the funniest, coolest dude ever, and seems so normal.
Yeah, he is, man. It's weird when you're talking to him because you're like, man, you're Tom Hanks, and then he's just talking everything. Say, hey, man, how old are your kids now? Just that kind of stuff, and it's weird. Yeah, it's really it's exciting to know that there's still that type of person out there, that's down to earth, and hasn't let ego go to their head and all that good stuff.
There's a reason, that he's still killing it. He's still one of the main dudes, probably because he's got that karma on his side, man. He's
man.
killing it. Just like you guys. So you're going on 15 years touring, basically, almost 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any kind of? I mean, you're still a young, super in shape, jacked dude. So, do you have any exit plans you think of someday, or are you just gonna die on stage one night in 50 years?
No. There's going to be a time for retirement at some point, but not in the near future at all. We're still having so much fun with it, and I truly think this may be one of the greatest bodies of work that we've put together for a long time. And but we love what we do, and it's so awesome to be in a position that we get to touch people's lives through music and tell people's stories. Not only just tell ours, but we get to tell other people's stories. And I think when they come to Rascal Flatts show, I think they come there with a lot of the fans come with hope and wanted to feel better by the time they leave. And I think that we've been fortunate enough to do that for our fans, and they're the true reason why we make music. So, we're not going to be, one thing we're not going to do is once we say do a farewell tour, which is, who knows, 10 years from now, I don't know. But it'll just be one farewell tour. We won't be like the reunion farewell tour and do 5 of them,
Make 6 albums off of it. This is a farewell number 3. Someone's doing that right now. Someone's got a farewell, I don't know. But it happens all the time. I know what you're saying. So what's the ratio of songs that you guys record, I guess, to put on an album, of songs that you write compared to songs that you don't write or you get from, writers or other people?
Well, you know what? It really depends. We write a ton for our records, and but with us, the best song wins. So, and we get songs pitched to us from all over the world. So, once we're going through the song process and listening, there's just some songs that we've written that we absolutely love. There's songs I've written that I just love and thought were hits. and a song will come in, and I'll go, well, that song's better. We got to put that one on there. Take something off that one of us have written, and the best song always wins. So
how do you? That had to be a weird thing early on, wasn't it? At least, or still, I would imagine, where you're trying to say, "Hey, man, your song's great, but see ya, it's not going to make it on this one." When you're talking,
Yeah.
like, so say you wrote a song, or Jay or Joe Don, it's got to be weird. That's got to be a weird thing when you know, like, hey, this thing we got could be a hit. One of our songs is leaving.
Yeah, I know it is. It's tough, but and thank goodness we've been on the same page, and we kind of go, yeah, that song is better. Sorry, we'll just keep writing. And the good thing with songs that we don't cut, we pitch, to other artists and that kind of thing. But yeah, because when you write something, it's like, when I wrote Fast Cars and Freedom, or I Melt, or some of the songs that I've written that I really felt strongly about. Thank goodness they were hits, because some you get so you're like your babies. You get so attached to them, and you don't want them to go to a group home. You want them to stay right there at the house.
And you probably refuse to hear any criticism, especially if you like them. If anyone criticizes, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've sold 25 million albums. Get out of here.
That's right. Yeah, who's got hits? We've got hits.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? You're a lawyer? I don't care.
Yeah, care what you got to say.
That's got to be tough, yeah. So you say if you don't, so you have a song that doesn't make it, you actually pitch it to other people?
Yeah.
And then if they put on an album, you guys get a nice little chunk?
Yeah, we do.
So I've heard about like the points. Is that still going on? Like you get a certain amount of points off of each album or each record sold?
Yeah, you know what? That's usually like a producer thing. So if you don't want to, you can say, okay, this producer's going to come in and this is what his fee is. Okay, so you're going to come in and produce or the entire record. We'll pay you this amount of money, and you negotiate, because then they'll say, okay, I want this amount of money, and I want 3 points on the record. So you kind of go, well, you're not getting any points on the record, so you'll get this, or we'll give you 1 point. But it's not as big these days because of all the digital downloads and stuff,
Can you explain exactly what points are? I've heard it, but I don't understand them.
Points is a percentage, so 1 point would be 1%.
So they'd get 1 point off every album you guys sell?
Every single album,
so every point so the points are just getting divvied up all over the place.
Yeah.
And that has to be a power struggle for bands, doesn't it, to figure out, especially big bands. So let's say you added, so you guys are, Rascal Flatts is 3 members, and then of course all of your guys that you have that are with you, they're still official members of Rascal Flatts, right?
Yeah, we pay their salary employees.
Okay, so say bands that have a ton of people. So I saw Justin Timberlake in Miami a month ago. He must have had 25 people on stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. I know, I've seen it too. But what he'll do is he probably just you either pay him per show, I'll pay you $400 a show, or that. But his mainstay is probably like his drummer and the main components to his band. He'll probably pay a salary to, and then the other ones are just hired help.
Oh, okay, man. All right.
Yeah,
that's good to know, man. I don't completely understand that, and none of us really do with that. The whole music world is foreign to me, but I think we're gonna wrap this sucker up. I just want to make sure that everyone knows about your the new album Rewind coming out May 13th. Am I right?
Yep.
May 13th, Rewind. The single's out right now. Don't worry, no one's going to watch or listen to this, so you don't have to worry about it. But we'll see. My dad and brothers will, don't worry.
Good.
But I want to thank you 100%, man, for coming on. This is awesome. I mean, just having you come on, we got to know you for the last 5-6 years. You've been an awesome guy to us, awesome to our family, and I hope to come to many shows in the future, and I would encourage anyone to go to one of your guys' shows, because you guys kill it every single night.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, and congrats to another great season. Glad you're healthy, and you know how proud I am of you.
All right, man. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.
See you, partner.
Thank you for joining in. Please visit thehawkcast.com, where you can discover the next guest, get a little more information about why this exists, watch past episodes, or link over to iTunes. And tell some friends, too, so we can all hear more great stories together.